So in today's video, we are going to learn how to declare variables of the following data types: Boolean. So let's do that. So a Boolean data type has two states. So it has two states. So let's go down. So Boolean data type. So a Boolean data type has two states, true or false. So for example, let is user equal to true. So that is how a Boolean data type is. Or let is married equal to false. So if we come to our console.log, we can say is user, then type of is user. So that's going to show us the data type of this. So let's give this a try. So I'll go to my browser. First of all, I need to start this on my live server. Then I'm going to minimize. Then I'm going to minimize this also. So this is okay. So Shift Alt Z. So if I go to my inspect, tap here to go to my console, refresh. So you see it's showing me true because I put is user is true, then the type is Boolean. So that is it. So a Boolean data type has two states, either true or false. So the next one is the null data type. So null data type. So this one can select blocks. So let's say we have a list of blocks that we want to get from our backend. So as at the time when we've not gotten the data, it is null. Then we consider log blocks, type of blocks. So interestingly, this will not show as another data type, it will show as an object. So we'll learn about objects soon. Then of course, when we get the data, what we normally do in that case, we will now update the value of blocks. So we can say blocks is equal to a list of some array objects that we can loop to show the block content. So it will show us an object, but you see the value now has changed. Nice. So the next one is undefined. Now when we declare a variable, so undefined, so when we declare a variable without initializing it, the browser gives it a value called undefined. So let's say let age, I think we have this declared here, let age just like that. So consider log age, type of age. So you notice that will show us that the type, that the value is what, undefined, and the data type is what, is undefined. So let's say we don't know what age is, we can say age is equal to 99. So the type of age is now number, which is nice. So the next one is the number data type. Number data type. So we'll be used to number data type. Number is from plus infinity to minus infinity, and that also includes decimal. So I can say let price be equal to 100. So consider log price, type of price. So you notice this is going to show me number. Nice. So the number can also include negative numbers. So let you can use any number g equal to -1. So it happens that g has been defined, so we can use gg or d. Then let arrow equal to 2.0056. So any of this can have the output. So I can have d, I can have arrow, I can have this. So they are all types of number, so you see them here. So these are all valid number data types. So the next one I want to look at is this, is what we call type conversion. So this type conversion is like, I have let say age 1 be equal to 55. So this is a string, so we'll learn about string in a moment, but a string is any, there are contents that we put inside single or double quotes. So because this number is inside single or double quote, is a string. Now if it's not in the string, the browser will assume is a variable, and once you cannot find that variable declaration, it will show you undefined. So that is a string. So that's why if I come here, say consider log age 1, type of age 1. So notice I'm going to see string, but now the type conversion now is, I'll say age 1 is equal to number, then age 1. So this means I'm converting number from this age 1 from string to a number, and that is why the type of is going to change from string now to number. So if I do that, I'll have this. So this type conversion is only when the number is wrapped within a string, and this is applicable when we start to deal with inputs, because whatever we get from an input is a string. So if it's a number, we need to convert it. So but if you try to convert an alphabet to a number, of course that will give you an error. none, which is not a number. So that is the type conversion. The next is the inbuilt okay, let's not use that one. So some inbuilt number methods. So just a moment, let me switch to my inverter before my system gets off. Okay, so some inbuilt number method. So we have let random be equal to, so math dot random, so you consider log random. So what this does is, if you hover here, you notice the IntelliSense will show you that this returns a pseudo random number between 0 to 1. So each time I refresh this page, you notice a unique random number. So you see we have 0.9, so you see we have 1.6, so just like that. So the next one is consider log math.pi. So you know mathematics pi is 22/7, which is equivalent to 3.14. So if we do that, you're going to get this. Nice. So we also have math.round. So if I have 2.4, that will be rounded down. So if I have 2.6, that will be rounded up. So we also have the cell, the floor. So if I do this, one, two. So if I change this to cell, I change this to floor. So this cell is just like whether the number is above 5 or below 5, take it to the nearest decimal, that is upward, that is 3. Then floor is whether it's above 5 or below 5, take it to the nearest decimal, which is below, that is 2. So this is going to return, 3. No, that is going to return 2. Then this is going to return 3. This is going to return 3. This is also going to return 3. So remember the theory I just explained now. So whether it's below or above, take it to the up. Then this one is going to return 2. So whether it's below or above, take it to the nearest, which is below 2. So let's test that theory. So notice you see we have a typo error here, cell. So you see I have 2 3 3 3 2 2, correct. So we also have that of power. So 2 raised to power 3, remember is 8. So 4 raised to power 5 is what? So I can't process that, but you see this is 8, this is this. Okay, so there are so many of them. so many of them. So we have there's so many of them. So if you want to see more of them, just put dot and you scroll down. So you have log this, e, so many of them. So max is, I think you have 2 numbers. So I have 3 and I have 2. So which one is the maximum among them? So it will return 3. So let's see if we can add more of them. 4, 7, 55. So which one is the maximum among all of them? See, 755. So we have min. So there are so many of them. So the reason why I'm showing this is so that in the future, if you want to build a logic that is mathematical in nature, just know that JavaScript has some built-in methods that can help you speed up your development process. So that is it for number. So let's now move to the next one, which is strings. String data type. So let's go back to our slide. String, JS string. So in this JS string, so JS string is any letter or number that is in quotes, single quote or double quote, just as I've earlier explained. Then how to get the length of a string. So before we do that, we need to know how to declare a string. So I can come here and say let full name be equal to Amadi Chile. So this is a string. So just to confirm again, full name, type of full name. So if I do this, oops, wrong, save, the cursor should be here, save. So you notice I'll have Amadi Chile and is a string. So then, based on the slide now, how to get the length of a string. But before that, let's do something just to help you get that. So you notice here I have my, so I'll have my string. So I have my index, I'll have my string, and I'll have my length. So what I'm going to have here is my string. So this my string is, it can be, is Amadi Chile. So the index of this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you see 0 here is for A, 1 here is for M, 2 here is for A, 3 here is for D, 4 here is for this, then the 5 here is for this space, 6, 7, 8, 9, then the 10 here is for this A, and thank God is the last, so there's no confusion there. So the length now of this starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10, 11. So you notice that the length of a string starts from 1, whereas the index starts from 0. So that is it. So in this case our L is our 10 and our E is our 11. So when you want to get the length of a string, you need to have this mental number, not actually the length, the index, but you notice the length of a string, it will count both the items in the string beginning from 1, but we'll use this one when we want to get the items. So you need to remember this type of diagrammatical behavior when you want to understand JavaScript length and string. So the length starts from 1, then the index starts from 0. So if you want to get the length of a string, remember it's already 11, so full name dot length. So that will give me what? 11. So you see, based on what we did here. Nice. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is this. We want to see how we can get any letter from the string. Now that is when we use the index now. So to get any letter from the string, you do your console.log. So let me just write the syntax, or the template is string. So it must be a string variable name, then a square bracket, then valid index. So if it's not a valid index, it will show you an error. So the string variable name here for us now is our full name, then our array bracket, then a valid index. So let's say I want to get capital A, that is 0. So it's going to show me A. Let's say I want to get capital C, that is 7. So I'm going to get that. No, I'm using this one, so that is wrong. So that is 6. So I went to the down one instead of the index, that is 6. So you see, so that is how you get that. So let's write a simple program. So you notice there are some social media platform you enter, once you fill your full name, your first name and your last name to get your initials, and that's what it saves to you. So before we do that, there's something else we need to learn. So how to replace a letter in a string. So to that we use the replace keyword. so how to replace a letter in a string. So to do that, I need to have do my console.log full name dot replace. So what do I want to replace? So I want to replace A, like capital letter A, with, let's say, U. So let's see what that will look like. So Icing is now Umadi. So another way for us to do this is you can cut this out, then you come here, you say full name equal to, so you update that, then you come here, you put your full name. So that will give us the same output. So you notice, so but from now on we'll just be doing it on the console, so that we'll not waste that time, but just know that they are the same thing. So I'll comment this one for reference purpose. So any word I want to replace, that is that. So it's not only a word. Let's say I want to replace Amadi with you. So you see it become U Chile. But notice if I add a capital I here, So there is no word like that here, so it won't apply anything because it didn't find a match. So there must be an exact match before it will apply anything. So let's say I want to replace Amadi with Joy. So you see Joy Chile. So that is it. So the next one is how to delete a letter in a string. So we still use our replace. So let's say I want to delete Amadi. So all I need to do is to pass an empty string. So if I do that, I will see only Chile. So you see Amadi has been deleted. So that is how simple it is. So the next one is how to convert a string to an array. So we've seen about array, but to convert a string to an array, you use a method. So you have the full name dot split. So if we do that, we will see that we have Amadi and Chile, and by the time we learn about arrays, we'll see more about that. Now you see that they are both Amadi Chile in as one group. So let me split them by space, so it will not change to 2. Very good. Now if I want to split them by, so Amadi Chile with based on, let's see the word that is repeating there, I. So I, so it's going to split them by I, which is still be 3. So Ahmad. So from here to when it gets to I is one item in the array. From here, what did I do? Control Z. So from this I to where it gets to the next I is another item. Then from this to this. So that's why I see this. So whatever criteria I want to split the array, you put them here. So but if you don't put them, if you don't put any criteria, it will just bundle them into to just make the alphabet an array item, and this looks nice. So you notice this is similar to the indexing of the array. So this first one is what, 0, and the last one is 8, but the length is actually 11. So that's why I say the way you get items in a string is like the way you get items in an array. So that said, if I put a space here and I want to get, so you notice this is what, there are 2 items in this array, Amadi and Chile. So if I want to get Chile, what I will need to do here is to put my array bracket and put 1, because it has an index of 1 here. So that is it. So you see, JavaScript is connected. So once you take a course like this that teaches you in order, you see that if you do your best not to practice, you see that everything will make sense for you to click, because you learned it in logical order. So that is it for that. So the next one is how to join 2 strings together. So let's say let's str1 be equal to Amadi, then let str2, that is string 2, be equal to what, Chile. Then I want to join these 2 strings together, so I'll use the simplest method, plus. So console.log str1 plus str2, but notice there will not get the expected output here. So let me show you. So see I'm having Amadi Chile. So how do I create a space for here? So we just continue plus, you add a string and have a space. So I have a plus here and I have a plus here. So this extra space will make it look like Joy Chile or Amadi Chile that is spaced. So let's see. Nice. So if you don't want to use plus, you can use this other one. Consider log str1 dot concat. Remember, I need to add space. Then dot concat str2. So the dot concat does a similar thing as the plus. So we'll have this. Nice. Okay, so that is how we can join two strings together. Then let's now see how we can join two strings together using the template literal. But before we do that, let's view that simple application. So get the initials from a user's first name and last name. What said? So let first name be equal to Amadi, then let last name be equal to Chile. So you remember the initials is just the first letter. So we've learned how to get the first letter. So let initials be equal to, so I'll get the first one, first name. So remember the index is that plus last name, the index is what? Still 0. So if I do my consider log initials, I'll have AC. So the interesting thing is that if I change this to another name, so let's say John Doe, so John, and I put here Doe to show me JD. So this is a simple application that I see on Telegram and other social networks. So if the user does not have an image, you see the person's initial JD, and depending on the joining of the two characters, that will determine the background color that you see on the cycle there. So that is a nice application. So from what you've seen here, you can see that using this using a plus to join two strings together, or the dot concat, can be so stressful in typing, especially when you have so many things to join together. So that is why this other one is not easier. How to use template string to dynamically inject a variable into a string. So the template literal uses backtick, and the backtick is found at just below your escape key or above your tab key, or the key before one. So let me try to join these two strings using template literal. So I will say my console.log. So I will say let string 3 be equal to my backtick. Then I will inject my string. So I will have string 1. I'll come out of that space. string 2. So that is it. So console.log str3. So notice I still have Amadi Chile. So you see, so from what you've seen here, once you want to inject a variable using the template literal or the template string, you start with a $sign, then the variable, the next you go there. So let me write that template here. So try to help us get the sense of it. So template literal for injecting variables with templates literals. So to do that, you use this and this, then you have your variable name. So once you do this inside the template literal, then you have injected your variable, and that's what you are doing here. So if you do it if you do this, so if you don't do this, so let's say I remove this $sign and I remove this $sign. So you notice the color has changed, and what will I say? I'll just say this code. So when JavaScript sees that $sign, it's like telling it that that is not a string. But if I want to add another thing here, so let me say add. So let's say I have 3 names, but that is not the third name. So let's say I have this now. So you see that it shows me Amadi Joy Chile. So this joy here is not a variable, it's just a string. But this other one, you see that they are string data. So that is how you do that. Okay, so that is about template literals. So there are many other string methods that we can learn. String methods, there are so many. So, but we can learn more about them in W2 school or later on begin to apply them. But there are some of them that I like to use. So we've seen replace. So let's see another one. So let's say we want to search if J exists in first name. So console.log first name dot includes J. So notice I wrote small letter J, that will return false because there's no small letter J there. But if I write a capital letter J, that will return true. So there's also another one like it. We have the index of. So this index of, if the value exists, it will return the index. If it does not exist, it will return -1. So because capital J exists, it will return 0 because that is the index of J. So these are some of the ones that you will see me using, and many more. So there are so many of them. Then we can also use this other one too. Now I remembered. We can also convert a string to small letters. So dot to lowercase. So to convert all the string to lowercase. So the first name will now be John Doe in small letter. So that is it. So there are so many of them, but you can find them in W2 school. So let's move to the next one. Arrays. Array stores excuse me. Array stores more than one value using index value pair. So in arrays we can have more than one value. Now from what we have been doing before, you see like this, let this is just one value, unless I want to make a sentence, but it's still one value. So I can store Amadi Chile as one value, unless I want to store them as a string, and that might be very, very difficult, especially when I just want Amadi. So you see that I have to now convert it to an array before I can start working with it. So whereas you can actually define that in an array. So an array can store more than one value using index value pair. So you see that index again, so that's why it's like string. So how do we declare an array? Array. So to declare an array, you just have this. You have let array name be equal to curly bracket items separated by comma items. So you have item 1, item 2, just like that, they end with the semicolon. So that is how an array is declared. So let's say I want to declare an array of ages. So let ages be equal to 77, 3, 33, 44, 99, 88. So these are all items in an array. So console.log ages, we have this. So now if you notice, if I tap here, you see the index again. So if I want to get the first index, that is 77, I'll use 0. I want to get 4, I'll use 88, I'll use 4. So that is why it says stores more than one value using index value pair. And the value it stores must not be a number, so it can be a string 66. It can be a Boolean true. So it can also be an array too. It can also be 3, 4. So it can be an object, so many things, but it's not limited to just numbers. So you see, they are all valid, no error here. Nice. So the next thing we want to learn is how to get an item from an array. So it's similar to a string. So to get, so let's say we want to get 44, 0, 1, 2. So put 2 here, and that will get us 44. Nice. So that is similar to a string, which we just learned. Then how to get the length of an array, very similar to that of string. So we just put dot length there, and from the console here, the length should be 8. So dot length. So see 8. Nice. So the next one is how to use some array method: pop, push, shift, unshift, and splice. So let's do that. So let's start with push. So let's say we have an array and we want to add more items to it, so we'll push to it. So let's say this ages. Now I want to add ages dot push. So let's say I want to push the number 13, so to push from the back. So if I do that, do my console.log ages, so I'll see that the length of the array will increase from 8 to 9, and you see 13 is here. So that is for that. Then pop. So now pop means I want to remove something from, so this one adds from the end. So pop. So this one does not accept any value because it wants to remove. So removes from the end. So pop now, it means this 13 will be off, so it will come back to what? 8. The next one is shift. So this shift this shift, it removes from the start. So if I do this now, so it will shift from the back, but the result is that 77 will fall off the cliff. So once it falls off the cliff, it's off. So that will lead to 77 going off, and the array will reduce to 7. So let's see if I'm correct. Yes, and that is true. So 77 is off the cliff. Then we have the on shift. So this on shift, it adds from the start. So if I add back 77, it will add 77 to bring back 77 from off the cliff. So to bring it back, so that will be there. So you see, so that is how this array method works. So of course, for you to actually understand them, you see how I did them one after the other. So by that way, and with this comment, you can understand how it works. So the next one is splice. Now you notice here now, what if I want to delete 44? So it's either I use on shift 1, 2, then before I actually delete 44, or if I'm coming from the back, it's even the worst. I have to delete so many things. So you see that using pop and on shift, you don't have a say of which index you want to delete from, but that changes with what? With our splice. So to do that, yeah, so I'll come here, console.log splice array edges dot splice. So here I'm going to tell you the index I want to delete. So let's say I want to delete 44. So I'm going to put 44. Then 1 means I want it to be off without no replace. Then I'll just leave it like that. So if I do that, no, that will not work. The index of 44 is what? Is 2. So that this will work now. So I'm getting an unexpected result. Okay, this returns the value it has deleted. So this doesn't have to be with inside a console.log. So if I do this now, so let me bring this downward still. So if I do this, so let's see what we'll receive. So we notice that 44 is no longer there. Now because of this nature dot splice, it connects with this, so I don't have to, but just like you saw me doing, it returns the value it deleted. So let's see what happens if we put 44 here. So you see, because there is no index of 44, so nothing was deleted. But if I put a valid index, which is 2, so you notice this happens. So let's say now we can use this splice to add. So this one here removes 44. So it removes it and there is no increment. So if I add 0 here, so I'll soon explain what the 0 and 1 does. See, if I put 0 here, it means I should have a replace. So let's say I want to replace this 44 with 33. Okay, we already have 33 here. Let's say 12. Then I will see that the length of the array will increase from 9, but 12 is not taking the index of 2. So let's leave it at that. So to remove, you have it as 1. So 1 means you don't want to. So let me make a comment here just to make it clear. So if you're using the splice, so how to use splice. So you have array name dot splice, then you have index, so you have a valid index, then you have type of delete, then you have values. Now this type of delete, so let's look at the valid index. You know what the valid index does. So the type here, so a valid index is like 0, 1, 2, just like this. So like from 0 to 1. So we have this. So but let me still add it there. So valid index is a number within the array length. So if the length of the array is what? Is 8, so that means a valid index is what? 7. So is within, is not equal to, is within the array length. Then the type of value, so the type of 1, so if you put 0, it means 0. If the type is 0, so type of 0, it means that you want to like insert into the array with length expansion. So it's like in a queue now, you want somebody to take the position of number 2 and the line increases. So that is what this type of 0 does. Then the type of 1 is like you want to insert into the array without length expansion. So it's like in the queue now, maybe in a long queue, and the person in number 2 decides that he or she cannot wait for his or her turn, so the person decides to leave the line. So when the person leaves the line, the person behind it will go what? Will go forward. Now you see that the length of the array will what? Will reduce, or the line will reduce. But in this type of, it's like somebody just enters the line from maybe a VIP, somebody like just enters the line, take position what? 2. So let's say you're in a bank and maybe a nurse comes and the cashier or the attendant say, please stay in front or behind the person in front, because they want to give that person that preference. So you see that the person will enter the front or the back of the person. So you see that the line will not increase by 1, but there is no reduction in length. So that is how it behaves. So that is why the time we put 0 here, you notice we're unable to delete because it's expecting a number to insert. But this one, the person, it removes, so the length will not increase. So that is why using 1 and a valid index, we're able to remove this. So if I come here, so let's say I don't want to remove this, I want to actually replace. So now that we have deleted 44, so what will be left now will be what? Will be 33. So let's say I want to still delete that 33. I want to replace 33 with 133. So what will happen now is the length of the array will still be 13, will still be 9, but you notice that 33 will be replaced by this. So let me see. Let me save. I don't know what I'm. Okay. So I deleted 44, which is this one. Then the index of 2. So before I do that, let me comment this out. So let's actually see what we are doing. So I was seeing the wrong array. So this is actually 33. So the index of 2012 will be this. So let's also target that 33, which is the index of 1. So that means we want to replace 33 with 133. So the index will still be what? 7, because type of 1 does not increase the length. So let's see. So we have 133, but you see the length of the array did not increase. Nice. So let's now increase the length of the array. So let's say I want to replace 133 now. The index of 2 now, 0, 1, 2, which is 99. So the position of 99, I want it to be 45. So you see that 99 will now 45 will replace this, and 99 will now be forward, and the length will increase to what? 8. That is if we do this. So this one, insert 44, then this one insert, this one will insert 133 at index 1 without length expansion. So this one will insert 45 at index 2 with length expansion. So if I do this now, you notice the index will be what? It will increase to 8. So you see 45 and 99. So that is how the splice works. So I can also insert more than one value. So I can just put 70, 11. So as many as I add, but the first index, so to insert all of this, then before you see 99. So this is a very powerful distance. So you see, before you see 99, so it will insert all of them. So that is how we use the splice, which is very, very nice. So that is it for arrays. So later I'll come back to arrays when we learn about higher order array methods. So the next one is objects. Objects store more than one value using key value pairs. Remember, array stores more than one value using index value pair. So the key value pair are core properties of an object. So how do we declare an object? So come back here. Object. So the object syntax. So to declare an object, you just need let object name is equal to your curly bracket, then you have your key, then value, comma, key, value. So object stores more than one value using key value pair. So if you know the key, you know the value. So this key is like the index of an array of a string. So once you know that index or that key, you can get the value. So let's do this. So let user equal to an object. So we say the first name column, we say is what, Amadi. Then the last name column, we say is what, Chile. Then we have the is logged in. We have is a Boolean, false. So you can have so many things. You can have the email, you can have the that, so many of them. So of course, if you come here and say console.log user type of user, so there's a mistake here. So you're going to see this. So if I save this, I'm going to see this. So this is an object. So you see this, the key value. So the next thing we want to do now is how to get object properties. So remember, if you know the key, so you remember this first name, the whole of this is called the property. So if I know the key, I can get the value of the property. So let's do that. So console.log user space dot first name. So I'll get what? I'll get Amadi. So if I don't want to use that, I can use the bracket notation space. I can put first name, so it will still give me the same thing. Nice. So you can use any of this method, but commonly we use this. Now when is it very important for you to use this bracket notation is, let's say I want to have another object called something like user name. So something that have a space. You know, a variable name should not have a space, but if it's an object, you need to have a space. You need to get you need to put it inside a quote. So a string Chile Mati. So you notice now, if I want to get this name automatically, if I put my console.log user dot username dot username. So once I select this username, automatically it will bring out this other method, because you can't get this using the dot notation because it's not one word. So that is how it works. Then another location, another importance, or another scenario where it's very important for you to use this is, let's say I want to use a variable to look through the items of my object. So I can say let object key, so let's say be equal to last name. So because I want to use a variable name, so let me use something that so if I put object here dot, I can't put object key. That is not a valid object, so it will tell me what? Undefined. But if I put it inside that array notation and put object key, so whatever the value of the object key is, if it's a valued object key here, then it will fetch me that, and that is what? and that is chilling. So these are the two scenarios where you prefer using this bracket notation to get the items of an array over the dot notation. So just to show you, so that when you see other developers using this, you understand why they are using it and when they are using it. Okay, so how to add new properties to an array. So let's say I want to add a new property to that array. So let's say user dot age is equal to, let me put 55. So it can be a number, can be 88, so any number. Now to see that it has been added, we need to do console.log. Let's check here, it should be here. Age, so you see age has been added. Nice. Okay, so that is how we do that. Then if you want to delete an object property, put delete. Then user dot, let's say I want to delete the isLogin feature. So if I do that now, the isLogin feature will be off. So let's see. So you see that there is no isLogin again. It's off. Even though it's showing here, but it's off when you inspect it. Okay, so that is for that. Then there's also another user method. So let's say I want to add the age, and let me say I want to add the gender. So I can add the male. So you notice that I have to do that twice. That is, I have to do that in different line, age and gender, but I can still achieve this using a built-in object method. So there are more than one way of doing a particular thing. So I can put here object dot assign. So the object I want to assign this is user. Then I want to add so let's say age. I want to put that as 88. Gender, to put that as male. So let's say email, so I can put that as Amadi chile@gmail.com. So you notice I'm adding all these properties to the objects in one line, not like this. So if I save this, you notice the new object properties. So you see I have my age, I have my email, I have my gender added from one line. So if you don't want to use this method, which is stressful, you can use this one. So that is it for objects. And with this we come to the end of today's class. So in the next video we are going to see how we can create functions, JS conditions, JS loop, higher array methods, and the power of algorithm. So see you in the next video.